Everyone, so it is time for a quick cart update, which I haven't done in so long, and I love doing cart updates. I don't have that much to talk about, but again, I want to talk to you in the car. And the main thing that I started this morning is After Dark with the Duke by Julie Ann Long, and this one I randomly ran into. Basically, I might have already said that in the intro, but I have been feeling so like reading slumpy, but not in the sense that I don't want to read, but in the sense that I think I've just been reading the wrong things. And it's been feeling horrible because like I've been reading multiple books by authors I love or books that I was really enjoying, but I couldn't really enjoy it because I was just in like it did not fit my mood whatsoever. And so I think I really need other genres that are not contemporary romance, which I'm sure I would have said in the intro. So this is historical romance, which feels to me the energy is like in between contemporary and fantasy. And obviously it's not like magical or anything, but it's really cozy most of the time, and the plots feel like less realistic in a way. And it's just super fun. And so I feel like that was calling that was calling me today. And yeah, so we have our main character, the heroine, and this basically ends up staying at this, what did they call it? Specific like boarding house. And I think this is the fourth book in the series, and historical romances normally I read out of order a lot of the time, just when I just randomly run into something. This is an audiobook as well that I had. And so I think like the previous main characters probably started this place, but that's fine, whatever. And so the heroine stays in this place where there's like a lot of other people, a lot of them cool, intriguing people, and there's this duke that is, you know, kind of cold and mysterious and all that kind of stuff, and he did go to the war, and he has lost his wife, and he has a son, and many different layers. So this is an age gap romance. I don't remember how old he is, but yeah, she's 25. I don't know. So yeah, so far I'm enjoying it. There's a lot of tension between them, and it's slightly hate to love, not really like hardcore, but like some hints of that, and also forced proximity, and I'm really loving that, which like I think I really need some good tension, and maybe like slow burn. I don't know. I honestly, like I said it in my other vlog, that like I don't even know what I want, but I just need to try different books to try to find it. And so that is the goal of this video. And this so far is working for me, and I do really want to find an ebook that's gonna match my vibe because I like to have multiple options, but I don't know what that's gonna be. One thing that caught my eye is Keep Me Close by R.M. Virtues, which I've had on my TBR for an eternity. I loved the first book in this series, and it is like, it's actually not, like, it feels like a paranormal romance, but I think it's contemporary, but with a very specific energy that I think I could really like, because I don't think I have, like, fantasy books on my TBR, and, or like, that I own on my Kindle, and yeah, but I'm gonna look into that, I'm gonna update you, but I need to go meet my best friend. I will talk to you very soon with more updates. And yeah, I did not specify. I think that I am still like visiting my parents, and so that is why I'm in a car. And yeah, I want to enjoy the last few days that I have here right now, and so I will take you with me on that as well. You're gonna see my cats in just 2 seconds, and maybe some random things, but of course, again, the main priority of this video is to like destroy my reading slump. And so yeah, let's do that. I'm also going to the bookstore today, and so hopefully I'm gonna find something good there as well.
Say what you wanna say to me now. I wanna wake up with you in the morning. Show me there's nothing fake to me now. I wanna wake up with you in the morning. Say what you wanna say.
It is time for an update. I have officially finished After Dark with the Duke by Julie Ann Long, and I did really enjoy it. I read it in like 2 days, which has not happened for a while. I recently take multiple days to finish a book, or even a week, or honestly multiple weeks if I don't, you know, vibe with it at the moment. And so that's a success, first of all, and I also just really enjoyed it. It was so much fun. I wouldn't say that it's a 5-star. I think it's more of a 4-star. I didn't feel like incredibly connected to the characters. They didn't feel like super unique, but the romance was super fun. I really enjoyed the development of the romance and just like their chemistry and, you know, kind of like the dislike to love vibes and the forced proximity and all of that. And it felt quite short, and just, you know, I devoured it, and I really enjoyed the audiobook as well, and so I'm so happy about that. And so I'm trying to figure out what to read next. And I did start a little bit of an ebook called Daughter of Tides by Kid Rocha. And this one is like an adult fantasy romance. And I think it might be polyamorous, which would be super fun, to be honest. I really enjoy reading polyamorous romances. And I did read it in a fantasy setting at some point, but not in a while and not a lot of them. And so that would be super fun. And I started a little bit of it and I was vibing with it, but I kind of want some other options as well, which of course still remains Keep Me Close by Arm Virtues. And also what was calling my name as well is another Julie Anne Long romance, which was The Beast Takes a Bride. And my first instinct was like, I shouldn't read the same genre again in a row, especially by the same author. But then I was like, why the hell not? If I'm really vibing with it, and I was really vibing with it. And then I was kind of sad that it was over, and I was like, I want more, and I can get more in another book that is a historical romance. And so I do think that is going to be the next audiobook that I listen to, but of course I want ebooks as well. And oh shit, I actually just remembered, I also picked up The Undermining of Twyla and Frank by Megan Bannon, and I have the physical book, but I didn't take it up here with me, so whatever, I'll show it to you later. And I am at like 120 pages, and I am loving that. It is one of my most anticipated releases. Actually, God, I think it came out maybe in 2024 even. But it's like generally one of my most anticipated books, and I loved the first book in the series, and then I was really conflicted, and like I was scared I wouldn't love this one as much. And while that might happen, I still think it's going to be a great time. It has been a great time so far. This is basically like Friends to Lovers. I think it was inspired by When Harry Met Sally, but make it fantasy, which I think is a super fun concept. And we also have characters in their 50s, which is super cool to see in a fantasy setting as well. And so I am very much enjoying it. And I do think this could be the right balance of like high stakes and low stakes. I do think that the first book in the series, The Undertaking of Heart and Mercy, I think that's the name of it. Now I'm like, shit. But it's definitely about Heart and Mercy. And that one had quite high stakes, and it was also enemies to lovers. So this one feels a little bit less high stakes in that way, but there's still a lot of a lot of things happening, and there's dragons as well. And so obviously I love that, and it's super fun. And so that is, I guess, what's happening right now. And so I will see what I start or read today. And tomorrow I have a lot of things happening. Well, not actually that much, but I have to leave the house, and then hopefully I'm gonna chill. And then on Wednesday is gonna be my flight, and it is in the evening, but of course that's like also gonna be a lot, so whatever. I'm trying to take things one step at a time, which includes every aspect of my life, including reading, I think. And so that is really what I need to focus on. Just the present moment. And of course I want to keep the bigger picture in mind, because again, like I think one of my biggest problems, like I said, was that I just read too much contemporary romance and I did not have any variety whatsoever, basically. And that is definitely a big thing, but also just like I stress out too much and I overthink. And you know, again, there's always that little voice of like, maybe I should read this instead, maybe I should read that, and like there's actually no good reason. Even if it's like a thought for a reading vlog like this one, you know, when I was like, shit, well, I have to read a different genre than a historical romance now, because I already talked about a historical romance and I need to like keep it interesting. But also, I'm already literally talking about a million other things.
I wanna wake up with you in the morning. Show me there's nothing fake to me now. I wanna wake up with you in the morning. Turn this room, turn it to an ocean. Let me float around. Eyes closed, like we're dreaming even when we're not. You and me got a whole other meaning, I don't know how. You and me just know how it feels when we're falling in love. Say what you wanna say to me now. I wanna wake up.
Hello everyone, so I have made it back to my full-time home. And it is time for an update. So I have been, in fact, reading The Beast Takes a Bride by Julie Anne Long. And I am obsessed with it, and I'm very happy about my decision because the second that I started it, I was like, okay, this was the right choice, and I'm really happy that I'm reading historical romance again. Every single time that I read it after a while, I'm reminded by how much I love it. And then I read a bunch and then I put it back down, and I really need to learn to make it like staple in my reading. But yeah, I just filmed a very long video, so I think I'm just gonna describe this book to you after I finish it because I'm really close to the end anyways, but it is very good and that is happening. However, the main reason I want to talk to you right now is I made a little trip to Waterstones after work today, and I just got back last night at like 8 p.m. or something, and I have been really sad. You know, if your heart is in two places at the same time, you know this feeling very well, I'm sure. And so yeah, but yesterday felt like I was sadder than normal, probably because I suppressed my emotions a lot. But yeah, I, you know, cried it out, and I am trying to make myself feel better until I feel normal again. And so book therapy it is today, because I needed something to make me happy. And also because I am, you know, I want to motivate myself to read the books for the purpose of this video and for the feeling of like excitement and good things. And so I got two books that were the buy one get one half price, and I could not, you know, say no to that. And I'm very excited about them both. They fit the thing that, what am I talking about? Jesus Christ. They fit my requirements perfectly. I got Moth Dark by Kika Hatsopoulou. I have heard of this author before. I actually, shit, now that I think about it, I might have the first book in her other series, but I'm not sure. I know I looked at it many times in the bookstore, and I don't know if I actually bought it or not. I think this is a standalone. I actually need to check that, because I do think for now it's kind of better for me to read shorter fantasy standalones before I dive into longer series, which now that I actually say that, the other book that I got is longer and it is a series, but more on that in a second. So this one just sounded really good, and I love this cover, and it felt like it was just amazing vibes. And this one is a YA fantasy, and so of course I do want to read like adult fantasy romance, but I also want to read YA because I do really love YA fantasy. And, you know, if it's done well, it's just gonna be really fun and easy to read, usually shorter, you know, it's perfect right now for me. And so this one, I don't remember, I read, yeah, there's a blurb that says, an achingly hopeful, breathtaking love story, and another one that says, world so unique and addictive, and a slow burning romance unlike any I've read before. And so that just sounded amazing, and I think I'm gonna love it. And again, every single time that I see the two main characters on the cover, especially when they're kissing, it makes me think that it's gonna be character focused, and hopefully a lot focus on the romance, which is what I'm looking for. And so I really hope I'm gonna love this, and I do really want to pick it up soon. So I am excited about that. And the other one is Heavenly Bodies by Imani Ariu, and this one I've heard quite a lot about. I can't tell you exactly what it's supposed to be about, even though I read the synopsis today, but it sounds really cool. And so this is an adult romantasy, and it's supposed to be, there's a prophecy. It says that the main character is cursed, and someone like descends to hunt her, and someone else steals her from her home. And yeah, I don't know if it's like enemies to lovers, but it seems like it's high stakes and cool magic, and that is what we're looking for. And it is longer, but I think I can get over that, and I think I just need to try it out and see and just follow my instincts. And because I have been really struggling with like what romantasies to pick up, because like they kind of blur together a lot of the time. Like recently I feel like a lot of the releases have the same covers and the same vibes, and I can't distinguish. But of course there are some in between that, even without looking into it, I just feel gravitated towards. And so this one was one of them. And so I really hope I'm gonna love this, and I have a good feeling about it. So yeah, that will be all for now because my throat is sore. I've been talking for way too long from that other video. So I think I'm gonna go do my nails, I'm gonna finish the audiobook, and I'm gonna start something new. Hello everyone, so it is time for an update. It is the next day. I think. And I have some things that I'm excited to tell you about. So that is what we're gonna do right now. So a bunch of random things are happening, and I do think that I need to, of course, like one thing that I think makes my reading life better is reading multiple things at the same time. And I think recently I went a little bit too far with it, especially because I don't think that I was doing it that well, you know, especially if it was like, you know, reading multiple contemporary romances at the same time is generally a bad idea. And I'm really excited. I feel really good about the things that I'm reading. So first of all, before I forget, I want to tell you a little more about the When Beast Takes a Bride or something. The Beast Takes a Bride by Julie Ann Long. So I really enjoyed this. This book starts with the hero getting the heroine out of prison. And she is also his wife, and they're estranged, and they basically were never entirely together. They got married, and like the hero proposed in a kind of like not ideal way, but they, you know, he thought they had a connection, and they did. But the heroine kind of felt like she didn't really have control over it. And so, you know, now a while later, after they've been separated and never really together, they reunite again. And there's a lot of like the my wife moments and, you know, actually getting to know each other. And it's fun and it's steamy and I really enjoyed it. And so this was such a great time and I devoured it. And I will absolutely be reading more historical romances very soon. And, you know, but that is for later because now I am reading other things. We're absolutely getting where I want to go. And including with the next book that I'm really happy about as well, which is Daughter of Tides by Kid Roca. And I don't know if I mentioned this one to you, but it has been on my mind. And I have had this author's books before on my TBR, and I know that they have multiple like adult fantasy romances, and they're queer, and I think like they're supposed to be very steamy and just like very fun and definitely romance focused. And so I am like, give it to me now. And so I got to 36% of this book and I'm very happy. And another thing that's amazing about this is that the book is available as an ebook and audiobook on Kindle Unlimited. And I have said this before that I think that listening to fantasy on audio is not always good for me. But with this, like switching between the two, I think is really good and it can be really helpful. You know, because there's times that I can't listen to an audiobook and there's times that I need to listen to an audiobook. And so I'm very much enjoying this. And it's supposed to be a polyamorous romance. Alexei, who is the god of love, is dying and he is going to go on this like last quest on like a mission, diplomatic mission. And, you know, he's gonna get on board of a pirate ship where he meets Einar, who is a pirate, and Naya, who is a water nymph. And the two of them are kind of a couple that he wants to matchmake, even though he is very drawn to them, like for himself. But he, of course, wants to like set them up. And things go on from there, and it is super fun, and I'm really enjoying like the sea pirate vibes, and I'm really enjoying the characters. And the connection between them so far is really fun, and I think it's gonna be absolutely amazing. And I can't wait to see how the romance develops, and I'm loving it. And you know, the thing that I've been struggling with, that I might have mentioned a little bit in this video already, is that like, I am currently craving very specific stakes where I want high stakes, but not like dying and crazy intense things happening kind of stakes, you know? Like I want to have that question of like, you know, how is this gonna work out? How are they gonna get a happy ending? But at the same time, I wanna know there is gonna be a happy ending, which I think is very hard to know with romantasy, and that is actually my problem. You know, because that's why I also like to say fantasy romance instead of romantasy, because hear me out, okay? This is like a discourse on book Twitter and bookstagram like every week, that romance has to have a happy ending, but this is not a discussion, okay? That is the convention of the genre. So romance is supposed to have a happy ending, and it's pretty well established in the contemporary genre, and I think historical romance for sure as well. And I would think paranormal romance as well. However, fantasy has been a little bit different. And so in my head, since all these genres are called something romance, it makes sense to say fantasy romance and for it to be a romance in a fantasy world. And you know, yeah, but that is not how it's evolved. And so when people say romantasy, I'm kind of skeptical and I'm like, okay, what if it's just fantasy with romance with like a lot of smut, but not necessarily a guaranteed happy ending? And like, what if it's still a fantasy book with just a stronger, more dominant romantic plot, but still not a romance, you know? And so I don't think it's actually well distinguished And I think it's very hard to know when it is actually a romance and when it's not. And that is why I've been really scared to like dive deep into books labeled like this, because I just don't trust it. I don't trust it, and I need happy endings in my romance. I don't care. Anyone else can read whatever they want, of course, but that I just need security in my reading. Like, I am a very sensitive reader, and so I want high stakes, and I do love that, and I have been craving that, but I need to know it's gonna end well in the end. You know, even if it's horrible, like even if the journey to get there is really painful, I need to know it's gonna be okay. And I don't think there's that security in most of the romantasy that I run into. What is the solution of that? I don't know. But I'm gonna figure it out. Anyways, rant over. I am very sure that this is gonna have a happy ending. And so I will be reading it, and I'm very excited about it. So a thing that I literally 5 minutes ago ran into, a graphic novel from Webtoon, which is called Daybreak by Musop, and I recently devoured Muted by Miranda Munt, and I loved every second. And I've been desperately looking for new graphic novels, and I've been really struggling to find it, and I need new ways to discover more, because like I need them in my life. On Goodreads, I was looking at the like readers also enjoyed, and Daybreak was listed under Muted, and I was like, oh my god, perfect. And it's also from Webtoon, so I can read it on Webtoon, and you know, and so I'm super excited. Obviously the cover got my attention. It's adorable. And I literally just read like the first 3 episodes, and they're very short and sweet. And so I will be devouring that, and I'm so happy. I think it looks absolutely adorable, and the art is like beautiful. God, I love graphic novels so much. Like the intersection of like the illustrations and that kind of art and like the writing is the best thing in the world. And something about that is just like like reaches the soul of my inner child. Like graphic novels that have beautiful art and illustrations just like hit me, you know, because I think that like when I was a kid I did read graphic novels, and I think that maybe that is actually the first type of reading that I fell in love with, because I wasn't a big reader. I was not a big reader until I was like 15. And so like I just love reading it as an adult, of course as well. And I need more. I will never have enough. So if you have any recommendations, please let me know. Even like the webtoons or any normal like published graphic novels, please, I need it all. I need it all. And it is actually an amazing reminder to read Webtoon more, because I have not read it in ages. And so I'm so happy that I discovered this. And so the combination of all these books, I am thriving. I am doing exactly what I wanted. I'm really excited to read. It feels good. And I'm so happy that I'm doing this vlog, and that like so far the direction seems to be exactly what I needed. Hello everyone. I know I'm in the exact same spot as I was last night, but I just have a super quick little update, which is that I got a new book once again, and this one I ordered because I needed to order this, which is not very interesting, but what is amazing about this is I got it because I'm getting a TV. Why am I mentioning it? Because it's like the most exciting thing to happen to me in a while. And I have been without a TV for multiple years now. And I was like, you know, it's fine. Like I have my laptop and I don't need it, but I absolutely love watching TV shows and movies. And like I literally, one of my favorite things is going to the movie theater. And so of course, like I think the bigger the screen and the like better the sound, you know, the better the experience. And so of course I want a TV, and so I'm incredibly excited that I'm getting one super soon. And so this is one thing that I needed for it, and the least interesting one, but it is gonna happen. It's gonna be happening next week, hopefully, if all goes according to plan. And I'm so excited, and honestly, for like the concept and the feeling of this video, it's perfect. And it's gonna honestly be like really inspiring, and it's gonna motivate me to watch more exciting movies, and that in turn kind of makes me want to just generally consume more amazing stories and read and watch and do everything that makes me happy and find things that make me happy, and it's all gonna be amazing. So anyways, I got a book that I think I'm gonna start. And then I got this, which is Deadly Ever After by Brittany Johnson. And I'm gonna read you the description and tell you why I really wanted to get this. The description of this just sounds so good, and I just felt that like spark of motivation of like, this is it. This is what I want to read right now. So basically, let me find, there was like a nice blurb and some things. Okay. Two dead princesses must find true love's kiss to bring them back to life in this heart-stopping romantic fantasy debut. For fans of Cinderella is Dead and Girl Serpent Thorn. And guess what? I very, like, at this point it's been like years, but I have read and loved both Cinderella is Dead and Girl Serpent Thorn, and they are some of the like fantasy books that I would think of that I really loved and that worked for me and were my vibe and that kind of thing. And so I was like, okay, even if it's of course gonna be a little bit different, that gives me hope I'm gonna love this as well. And it is a sapphic, a like fairy tale vibe type of a fantasy book, and I think I love that. And so I don't really know much more because that just sounds absolutely perfect. And I have, ooh, it also says Sapphic Princesses on a Quest. Hell yeah. Ooh, okay, there is a review, and this sentence also sounds amazing. Okay. Deadly Ever After isn't a book. It's a dose of magical healing disguised as a fairy tale adventure through a cursed forest where two princesses find true love's kiss. And they say that it is thick with themes of healing, self-discovery, and identity exploration, and it perfectly balances whimsy with darker themes. It screams, you're allowed to be you, no matter how sad, soft, angry, every version of you is valid and you are seen. I mean, come on. I am reading this immediately. I need this in my life. I need it. It's perfect. It's gonna be wonderful. And oh my god, I'm so happy. I like added it to my TBR a while ago, but I knew like it wasn't at the bookstore and I would have to order it online, which always slightly delays how fast I get a book. But then I was just like, I saw it, I was ordering, and I was like, this is it. This is what I need. And oh my god, I actually absolutely love fairy tales. And, you know, God, yes, absolutely. So, I think I am gonna go to bed and I'm gonna read this. Hello everyone. So, this is gonna be a super quick update. The TV arrived 2 days early, which thank God I had a day off today. I had a day off today and then in 2 days. And I am unbelievably excited. And I had to share that because right now I'm filled with excitement that I don't get to feel very often, and it feels absolutely wonderful. And I'm so excited. The only slightly bad part that I could have realized is my mom pointed out that I should not be putting it together because it's a 43-inch TV, and like it would be pretty dangerous for me to try to make it, put all the parts together and stuff. And so one of my best friends is coming over on Thursday because I ordered a little TV stand from IKEA. So she already volunteered to help me put that together because I'm horrible at these things, or like it just stresses me out so much that I get really anxious and I overthink it, and then I just, you know, yeah, but she said it's one of her favorite things. I'm so happy. And so yeah, since I can't have my own private little cinema at home yet, I am gonna go to one. And so I'm gonna go see a movie. Yeah, I don't know. I never, like, for all this, like, I couldn't get a TV for a long time, just for many different reasons. And at the same time though, like I told myself that I don't want it and I don't need it, like it's unnecessary. I have a laptop. But again, I literally going to the movie theater is one of my favorite things in the world. I love watching movies. I love watching TV shows. And so obviously, like the bigger the screen, the better the sound, the better the experience, you know? And so like obviously I really want a TV, and the fact that it's not only a TV like in an apartment where I live, but it's my own. And I get to watch it, anything I want on it. Like, oh my god. I think this is another reason of like why I really need to talk about movies as well in my videos and TV shows, because I just feel like, you know, I think many people who care about books care about movies. Please let me know actually what your opinion is. Obviously this is always going to be a book channel dominantly. But I think I would love to talk about these things as well because, you know, and this is of course gonna motivate me so much, and it is a really big TV, and like, I don't know, I originally was considering a lot less, and then I just kind of kept going up, and this is what, well, this is the biggest TV I could get in my space, and the second I saw the box, I was like, wow. Wow. I literally feel like it's Christmas all over again. I could only get this TV thanks to my dad, so shout out to him, even though he is not watching, he doesn't watch my videos. And, you know, I sent him like a bunch of thank you stickers, and he sent me a thumbs up, which is the most dad thing I've ever seen. Ooh! I'm gonna stop talking. However, I have a little update, and then I'm gonna go to the movie theater, that I started Deadly Ever After by Brittany Johnson. I told you about this book, right? So I started it last night, and I got to page 82, and I am, you know, like, I've been kind of distracted, and I've been thinking about the TV, and I've been watching a TV show, and whatever, you know, so I haven't been reading like super a lot, but the beginning was very easy to get through, and it's really fun. I'm enjoying it. I don't have any more detailed thoughts for now, but it feels very easy to read in a great way, in a way that I really wanted. I wouldn't say it's hate to love, but it's like a little bit of a dislike to love, and slightly giving Grumpy Sunshine, more in the sense of like, one of the main characters is kind of like, you know, softer, quieter, shyer, more afraid energy, and the other one is like the like more like stronger, seemingly stronger, and like more badass, and, you know, better fighter, and like a little bit more rough around the edges and whatever. Obviously a very vague general description, but that is like the vibe, and I do love that, and I am really enjoying the characters so far. And I've really enjoyed so far the way that they're starting to like trust each other a little bit more. Both of the main characters basically like die at the beginning of the story, and they find themselves in this like place in between life and death, where they get told that like if they want, they can kind of fight for a chance to live again. And to do that, they have to go through this like magical forest, and also have a true love's kiss to be able to go back to life. And so they both find themselves in this forest, kind of in a similar situation, and things go on from there, and I'm really enjoying it. It definitely has the like fairy tale vibes, and I can for sure see the comparison to Girl, Serpent, Thorn. I'm gonna be honest, I read that so long ago, I don't remember any details besides like how it made me feel, but this feels similar. So if you ever read that book, you should absolutely pick this one up as well. And yeah, and so I'm really, really happy because obviously I have been in a fantasy slump, and I have finished a few fantasy books over the past few months, but it's a very, very small amount, and I'm finally just feeling better and more excited about it, and I'm getting over myself, and you know, I just want to dive deep into the genre, and so this is a great start. So I'm gonna go see the movie, and I'm gonna come back, and I'm gonna come back home and keep reading, because I do know that the second I am gonna set up my TV, like, I'm gonna be watching so much stuff. I've been saving watching People We Meet on Vacation before I get the TV. I want that to be the first thing I watch on the TV, because I have very, very high hopes that it's hopefully gonna become one of my favorite rom-coms of all time. Please, God. And so I'm saving that. And so that is one exciting thing. And I have many others that I can maybe mention later on, but not right now. I'm gonna stop talking. And I'm gonna talk to you maybe when I finish this book or something else happens. Hello everyone. So I am not feeling very good physically. So bear with me if I'm gonna sound, you know, like out of breath or exhausted. However, I have been doing really great when it comes to reading, and I want to tell you about it because it's been a few days and I'm excited. I have been reading many things. One of which is Deadly Ever After by Brittany Johnson, which I'm pretty sure I definitely told you about. And I got to page 90, so I haven't really had time or like the energy and mind space to read physically, and so I haven't read it really fast, but the reading itself, honestly, it is going by quite fast, like when I actually am reading this book, and it's really easy to read, and I'm enjoying the main characters. I had a really bad headache yesterday, then I had a really bad headache today, and not a good time, you know, and so also just I have been reading a little bit less quickly recently. Because, you know, I just have an exhausting job, and it does make it more difficult, and I need to, like, just accept it, you know, when my body can't handle things. However, that's not the only thing, because I have finally discovered some graphic novels to love, and I'm super, super happy about it. So, I found a beautiful, perfect, I felt like there was a good word, but I don't know. Just like a source of graphic novels, let's say, which is Webtoon. And there's quite a lot of books that were created or like made into graphic novels from Webtoons. And today I started like making a list. And I think I maybe told you that I wanted to read Daybreak by Musop. And so I read the first volume of that, and oh my god, I loved it. And reading on the webtoon is the best thing in the world. Like, I love graphic novels so much. And of course, the best way to read it is in a physical book. However, that's not realistic because a lot of the time they're more expensive than even like normal books, you know, and obviously I just can't buy everything that I want in a physical book. And at the same time, I've really struggled to read graphic novels on ebook because like I just read it on my phone. Obviously, it would be better on like a tablet, which I don't have. And so like, I don't know if it's because I wear glasses or something, but it is really hard for me to read sometimes on like the, you know, the small letters and stuff. But on the webtoon, the font is really big, it takes over the whole screen, and the art is so beautiful, and it is just absolutely perfect. And like, I've known that webtoon exists for a very long time, but I just kind of forgot about it for a long time. And I don't know, like, I never want to live without it again because I'm obsessed, and I want to devour so many things on there. They're beautiful to look at, wonderful stories, so many hidden gems on there. And I'm so happy because it feels like it was exactly what I needed. So anyway, Daybreak specifically is absolutely adorable. It is a queer love story. There is trans and non-binary representation in there, Black main characters, and it is just so adorable and sweet. And it is definitely like slice of life contemporary, like so far in the like equivalent of the episodes for the first volume of the books is like there's not that much that happens technically in the plot. The two main characters just start kind of like becoming friends. Marcus basically starts cooking random meals for Cog, which is the cutest thing I've ever seen. And like I also, if someone started cooking for me, I would immediately fall in love with them because like ultimate love language. And it is just absolutely adorable. So definitely not a lot of plot, but so cute that it absolutely does not matter. And even though I have been saying that like I want more higher stakes and stuff, that is not the only thing that I'm looking for. The art is gorgeous, and they are so wholesome, and it just feels like a hug to read this book, and that is also something that I really needed. And I want to tell you about the other graphic novels that I found. Before I do that though, I did also finish Daughter of Tides by Kit Rocha, and I think I told you about the plot, I'm pretty sure. I also really enjoyed this. It was magical and polyamorous and spicy and fun and entertaining and just such good vibes as well that I just like flew through and really enjoyed, and I would highly recommend if you would like a fantasy book set at sea with amazing characters, but there's also like a lot of plot and, you know, yeah, things going on. And I hope I told you the plot because I do not have the brain capacity right now. And it is a series, and so there is like kind of an open ending sort of, and that is not something I'm used to, but it does feel like the story was kind of wrapped up at the same time. And I am excited because I'm used to reading romance standalones, which is what's the case basically with all like contemporary romance series. So it's been a while since I read like an actual series where we follow the same couple for like, you know, multiple books, but it is a really great feeling though to have, you know, to know that there is more waiting ahead and that I can read in the future about them. So love that. And I don't know when that's coming out actually. On Goodreads it says the next book is coming out on June 16th, so a while to go, but yeah, so that is that one. And let me tell you about a few of the graphic novels, which I'm super excited about. So I don't really know much about them, and I kind of went off of like the vibes and the cover and slightly the synopsis, little bit. And so one that I actually started reading today, Cursed Princess Club, and by Lamp Cat, and it's basically about a group of princesses and one of them who doesn't meet like the conventional beauty standards, and it's about her journey of like, you know, towards self-love, surrounding herself by wonderful people, and that's kind of like the vibe. And it, you know, is basically like a fairy tale. I guess it's fantasy. I don't know if there's actually gonna be magic, but I think so. Yeah. And so I'm really enjoying it. It's really cute and it's different from the webtoons that I've read before or graphic novels in general. And so I'm really enjoying it and I will keep flying through that. Then I added to my TBR The Kismet by Ingrid Ochoa. The cover is adorable and I'm obsessed with it. And this is like coming of age contemporary romance. And yeah, again, adorable. Then I have, and that one is YA. Then I think an adult one is Boyfriends by Refrain Bow. And this one, again, the cover is super cute. And I kind of looked at the description and it's supposed to be like a polyamorous romance. And it says, laugh out loud, funny, and always heartwarming. Boyfriends is filled to the brim with moments of pride, big and small. So it looks super cute, super fun. Then Freaking Romance by Snail Lords, which looks super cool, and it's supposed to be kind of like paranormal romance, or, you know, it says a sexy supernatural story about being out on your own, finding your dream apartment, and discovering that your new place is haunted by a handsome spectral stranger from another dimension. And so I feel like that is like a really cool different vibe. And someone said that the art is amazing, that it looks like it's glowing. And I feel like I can slightly see that on the cover. And it's gonna be absolutely beautiful. And then another one that I added is Chasing Red by Isabel Ronan and Silent Maru. I think this is adult as well. Follows two opposites who form an unlikely bond after a memorable encounter involving a red dress. And so I'm so happy. I'm so unbelievably happy because I have been looking for graphic novels for an eternity, and I read a few last year, and like I did like them, but I haven't had anything that I really loved and connected to in a while. Please, if you have any recommendations of anything that has any of those vibes, please let me know because I will never have enough. And yeah, so that is what's going on. And I am just, yeah, I've said this millions of times in this video already, but like I actually definitely think I am getting out of the reading slump. I'm still reading a little bit slower than I would like, but I'm having a great time. I also just realized that I think there's an audiobook that I've been listening to. I'm pretty sure I didn't tell you about, so I'm not going to talk about it much right now. But just so I mention it before I possibly finish it tomorrow. It is Don't Let Your Dukes Grow Up to Be Scoundrels by Louisa Darling. And this one I randomly found recently, and it's been super fun. I'm at 45%, so I do think I could be finishing it tomorrow for sure. And it's just super fun and everything that I needed as well. So I will talk to you very soon with more updates. Hello everyone, please excuse my ridiculous hair. I have recently started doing like the overnight sock curls and they work really well and I've been really enjoying it, and it looks a little bit stupid. Not as stupid as some other overnight curl methods, but you know, still not my best look. However, I have a really exciting update for you and I didn't really want to wait till tomorrow. So I started another book and I finished one thing that I think I told you about. But before I get to that, I just, you know, yesterday I was having a crisis and I was like, as I keep repeating, I have been enjoying the books that I'm reading, but I was just still like, you know, something's missing. I still don't think these are the perfect choices. And so I was like, okay, how about I stop considering what I think I should be doing and, you know, stop picking out of the kind of like first options that I thought of that I already started or whatever. And just like, you know, I reconsidered and something felt right. Something was really calling my name. And that is Voidwalker by S.A. McLean. I bought this like maybe in November, December. And so I haven't had it for that long, but it's been a little while and I don't know, like, you know, it first called my name in the bookstore. Yeah, it's just been really intriguing me. And I was just like, you know what, it's time. I really wanted an adult high stakes book, and this just felt right. This felt like it would be unique and fast paced and super exciting. And again, high stakes and amazing. And, you know, hopefully a fun, great, steamy romance. And so I started it this morning before work. I've been trying to wake up a little bit early so that I can have actually like a peaceful morning. And I now am on page 178. So it is a pretty long book, but you know what? I no longer care because like I am loving it so much. I don't want it to be over. It's 580 pages long and I'm ready to devour all of that. And so I'm like I would say I'm a third of the way through, and I literally did that in one day, you know, so I'm gonna be devouring it. Honestly, if I had a day off, I could easily read it in a day or two. I am still waiting for my day off is in 3 days. Like I have 2 days of work. It's the evening right now, you know, so whatever. But I literally, like I started it in the morning. I was reading it on the bus to work. I was reading it on the bus back. And I have been reading it in the evening. I have gotten a little bit too tired. I'm obsessed. The vibes are exactly what I wanted. It's kind of like juicy, high stakes, and tension, and it's delicious. And I'm like, oh my god. So this one is like basically, I would call it a sci-fi fantasy. And you know, in the blurbs and stuff, you know, people say that like it's genre bending and whatever, and so I would say it feels like it's sci-fi fantasy, and I don't know, I think that's so cool and intriguing. And the main characters in this, Fi, she's a void walker. She can create portals and she sees portals. Is it called portals? I feel like it has a different name. She's a smuggler as well, and so she basically, you know, for money, she smuggles different things around, and she gets this job that seems suspicious, but she does it anyway for money, and so she smuggles, turns out it's a bomb to an important city, and there are these people called like Dayari, I don't know how to pronounce that, if that's the right way, lords and creatures who basically are like humanoid but kind of monsters, and they also like eat people. And you know, they have just, you know, everyone says how they're incredibly dangerous and monsters, of course, but they usually have this deal that like they have a human sacrifice sometimes, and then they leave them alone and whatever. Anyways, and so Fi basically smuggles this bomb and it explodes, and then the lord that lives there basically, instead of like killing her, or you know, he tells her that like she has to help him figure out who actually sent her to do this job and who wanted to, you know, destroy his whole city and stuff. And I don't know if I'm making it sound as exciting as it is, but oh my god, so I kind of expected it to be a little bit more hardcore enemies to lovers than it is. I wouldn't say it's like super enemies to lovers. So it's enemies to lovers in the sense that it's like hate to love in the sense that Fi, of course, hates the Dayari creatures. They have, of course, hurt people before. She, as a kid, was supposed to be a sacrifice for one. And, you know, like many bad things. And, you know, so she's, of course, like scared of him and she's disgusted by him and whatever. But at the same time, he seems kind of, I wouldn't say peaceful, but he kind of feels peaceful a little bit, where he's like kind of calm and of course dangerous, and powerful, but also just kind of like chill a little bit. And yeah, but whatever. Of course, again, he is dangerous. There is tension, there is danger, like, you know, all of that. But yeah, so they work together and I'm absolutely living for the vibes because I love the fact that, I don't know how to pronounce his name, but it's like Antal, I guess. I don't know. He is powerful and cool and dangerous, but also he feels kind of, he's not aggressive. And I actually love that. I love that. You know, I don't like male main characters that feels aggressive and, you know, mean and rude in like really high levels. And so I love that. And so there is tension and forced proximity and really cool like world building, and I cannot wait for the romance. And like, oh my god, I didn't realize how much I missed like unpredictability in books, because I've always said that I don't really care about it. And of course, like when I read contemporary romance, I don't need to be surprised. I don't expect any shocking things to happen. But it is so good actually to not know how the romance is gonna evolve, and at the same time like dying for it. Oh my god, I'm gonna explode when they kiss. Like I'm gonna lose my mind, and I can't wait for that. So the like obsessive addicting feeling is exactly what I've been craving, and it's exactly giving me that, and I'm unbelievably happy. I did finish the Cursed Princess Club. It was really cute, and I feel like there's not that much that happens in this first volume, and I'm not super invested in the characters yet, but I'm liking the message of it, and you know, it's really cute and wholesome, and I will definitely read the second volume, but I do think I'm gonna read other things first. Hello everyone. So I know I'm in the same spot, but at least I look normal this time. And it is just the best one, you know, and the lighting is so bad, generally, because even though it's not dark outside yet, it has been so gloomy, it has been kind of dark all day. And so this is just the best that we can do right now. And I have a little bit of a book haul, and I also have quite a few updates. So I have been all over the place because I had 7 days of work in a row, and then yesterday I spent the whole day like working on a super important application, and so I didn't do anything besides that basically. And today I had to go to some shops and like all kinds of random things, and you know, but I have finished I think 2 things since last time, and I'm so excited about the books that I bought, and I'm just feeling so good. I was looking at like my, you know, recent reads on Goodreads, and I have been doing exactly what I wanted to do this year. And you know, I'm so happy that I started off like this, and I feel so motivated to keep going and to keep discovering and finding books that just speak to my soul. And I finished the volume 1 of The Kismet, which I'm pretty sure that I told you about, and this one is yet another webtoon graphic novel. It is basically so far like kind of YA contemporary, like coming of age, and it's gonna be a romance, but so far there's like not even a love triangle, there's kind of 3 potential love interests. And so it deals with that, and you know, our main character trying to figure herself out and how to be brave and like overcome her anxiety and get closer to people, and like it's very wholesome, very cute, super fun. Love the art so much, and so I'm having fun with it. And I feel like obviously all the webtoons that I've read, only the first volume, it just kind of is a little bit of a taste. It's a start of everything, and it's just definitely gonna get more, you know, juicy and entertaining as it goes, and you know, deepen the relationships and all those things. And so I didn't like adore this yet, but it definitely has so much potential, and I am really excited to continue it. And I have, however, found so many options that of like the webtoon graphic novels that I want to like start all of them. And so I think I'm just gonna start as many as I want, and then just keep going back to all the ones that I liked and finish them or continue them. So that is that one. And then I don't think that I told you I wanted to read I'll Pretend You're Mine by Tashi Boyan, and this one I have had on my TBR since before it came out, because I absolutely loved the 2 previous releases by this author. And so this is like this was one of my most anticipated releases, but I couldn't find it on audio at that time, but then I found it on Everand, just like looking around, and devoured it. I read the whole thing in like 2 days. I read it before work, a little bit at work, and after work, and I finished it today in the morning, and I loved every second. I think, I don't want to say it's my favorite, because the previous one, Stay With My Heart, was also like hit me so hard, and it was incredible. But this one I loved just as much. And so Tashi Boyan writes young adult contemporary, but they definitely feel mature and like on the older side, and they're not adult, but like I still absolutely enjoy them as an adult and love them so much. And YA romance coming of age story, I would say. And it is just absolutely beautiful. I also love the audiobook narrator, and so I loved that, and I just like loved everything about this story. The characters, the plot, the side characters as well, and the meaning of the story, like everything. So let's talk about what it's actually about. And so we have our main characters, which is Summer and Jules. The two main characters, we have a pop star female main character and a actor male main character. And oh my god, I have talked about this a billion times, probably even in this video, that I love books about celebrities and especially actors, but honestly, of course, it's iconic when it's like a singer and actor at the same time. And I love it. And so I loved them so much, and they enter like a fake dating scheme because they end up having the same manager. And so Summer, the main character, just recently turned 18, and she immediately needed to escape her parents, who were and have been very abusive, and they were like her managers, and just, you know, was very, very unhealthy. And so she finds this new manager and finally builds like a safe space and has a safe circle of people around her. And, you know, she finds healing and she moves on, and it does deal with that quite a lot in depth, but I feel like in a way that is painful at multiple moments, but at the same time incredibly cathartic and healing and beautiful and meaningful. And at the same time, the romance is so like sweet and perfect. And it's the kind of romance where even though they're young, I fully, completely believe they're gonna spend their entire lives together. And, you know, Summer also has anxiety and, like, you know, deals with that a lot, of course. You know, and the way that Jules gave her space for that and, like, comfort and just security and safety and all of those things, just absolutely perfect. Summer is also pansexual, and it deals with that quite a bit. And it is also an interracial romance where Summer is Bangladeshi American and Jules is Iranian American, and all of those things together just were the most perfect thing I have read in a while. And I love YA contemporary. Like, sometimes it just like hits the spot, you know, and it's just, I love it. And I have not read any as well in a long time. And so, you know, the first second before I started this, I was like, oh, am I ready for contemporary? But I absolutely was, and I loved every second of this. And it's a reminder, again, I need to read YA contemporary again, because again, I did not read much of that last year, and there were so many releases that came out that I bought and have not read. So I really need to work on that. And that is that one. As for Voidwalker, I'm still incredibly obsessed, but I've kind of put it on pause at first because I really wanted time off to be able to focus on it. And let's just say that did not end up happening entirely the way that I expected, but that's okay. Actually, one more very brief mention. I needed an audiobook, and it seems like it will be Like in Love with You by Emma R. Albin. It could change, as you know, clearly, you know, but I think I'm gonna stick with it because I only listened to a tiny little bit, but it seems fun. And this one is a sapphic historical romance. I have not read the first two books in the series yet, and it was calling my name, it just came out, and so it's gonna be happening. And it's kind of Mean Girls inspired in a historical setting, and in the like first line it says like, imagine Katie and Regina just kissed, was like, you know, and I was like, that is very intriguing, and I'm here for it. So I think that's gonna happen. But let's now talk about the books that I bought. So yesterday, this arrived in the mail, which is On Starlit Shores by Bex Glendining, and I have really been trying to focus on the things that I'm looking for and the things that I keep talking about in the books that I'm buying at the moment. Because of course, there are contemporary books that I want, and I want to like let myself buy that as well, obviously, but I just don't think it's the right time yet. And I really prefer in recent years to like buy the books when I really want to read them, not just when I know I will want to read them. This is a graphic novel, and I already talked about it, how I wanted to buy some, like, you know, I've been of course reading a lot of them, and I really wanted to buy one in a physical format. It's been really difficult to find, and you know, in bookstores I never see them, so I always have to order it online, and I don't know, I need to get better at like finding it and picking it out. But this one called my name, especially because it's absolutely gorgeous. It depicts grief with grace, tenderness, and moments of joy. And it's a beautiful cover and beautiful art. I love the color scheme, and it's supposed to deal with grief, like I kind of just said. Complexities of loss and love through Glendining's skillful use of color and pacing, which emphasize both the solitary and communal aspects of mourning and forgiveness. And I think connected to all the things that I talk about, I need to just like accept dealing with strong emotions. I am a very sensitive reader, but I need to be able to handle sadness and stuff because obviously I've avoided it because life is painful enough. But I think in a safe way, I need to accept it, and I think reading about it is gonna help me deal with it in real life as well, if that makes sense. And I just think it's gonna be a beautiful story. It was calling my name, and I got it, and I'm excited. So that will be read very soon. Then I bought Sword Heart by T. Kingfisher, which I wasn't sure. I've been looking at this for a long time, and I literally remember, honestly, years ago, Riley Marie on YouTube recommended this and talked about it in a way that I clearly remember even now. It's literally been ages, and that like shows my, you know, fucking weird brain and what occupies my memory. And so she talked about it in a way that just sounded incredible. And at that time, you know, I think I was already kind of in a fantasy slump, or it just wasn't the right time and whatever. And then in the UK, it was published in these editions. And I wasn't sure I liked this cover. Like, I kind of do, but I kind of don't. It's like, I don't love the color scheme, and just, it's like, it's a lot, you know? But I kind of also do like it, and I think I'm gonna love the book, hopefully. And so it sounds amazing. The main character has this sword, and she's inspecting it. Then a man appears from the sword, and he tells her that he is an immortal warrior trapped in a prison of enchanted steel, and now he's sworn to protect whoever wields the sword, aka the main character. And so, yeah, I don't know, it sounded super fun, and I have been meaning to read T. Kingfisher for literal years, and there's so many books now, and I have one other one. And so, I don't know, this was just calling my name, and again, you know, I need to buy fantasy so I actually read it. And instead of just forcing myself to read the ones that I've had for ages, I thought it would be good to also start with ones that are shiny and exciting before I then get excited for the ones that I already have. Then at the romance bookstore, I bought 2 more books and one super cute sticker. So I don't know if you can see that well, because it's, yeah, I think that will work. Absolutely love it. The moon, the book, everything about it, absolutely my aesthetic. So it's gonna go on my Kindle. And then the books are super exciting. So I finally got The Long Game by Rachel Reed. You know, the meme of like the 24 karat gold labubu. This is me, finally. And I think I might have mentioned it in this video as well, that, you know, I have been a Rachel Reed stan for a very long time, and I don't have the books physically though, of the Game Changers series. I have her most recent one, and the others I've read on ebooks and audio, and so I have been waiting for it to come out in the UK, and I finally have it, and I'm obsessed, and I'm so happy. Then I got an adult romantasy that looked super absolutely amazing, and I absolutely love the like bookseller recommendations underneath the books, because that is what works perfectly for me as a reader. I love when people recommend books, you know. That's why I watch so much like social media stuff, YouTube, Instagram, whatever, because I want people, like, I observe who has similar taste to me, and, you know, the second they recommend something, I'm like, oh yeah, I need that. And same with like when authors I love recommend something, I'm like, I love their books, so of course I'm gonna love books they love. And so I love that, and it just summarizes it in a way that just makes it super exciting, and then it like gives me a better sense of the story than the synopsis, I feel like, a lot of the time. And so this one said that it has, you know, like a badass female main character, and a lot of tension, and like a hot, you know, love interest. And then I saw this art on the inside of the book, and I was like, okay, I am getting this. Because, you know, I know people complain about covers all the time, and I don't like to, because I have a lot of respect for illustrators, and I think that, honestly, they carry the community on their shoulders. Like, you know, if it wasn't for the covers, it would not be the same. And, you know, so I don't like to say anything bad in general, but I personally think whenever someone says illustrated covers all look the same, I could not disagree more. But I do feel like recent romantasy covers all look the same, because it's the same concept, and they're not very memorable. They can look nice, like this. This looks really nice, but also it's a sword, and, you know, some plants, and there's a snake. And that you can see on every single romantasy, like, ever. And for my brain, I'm such a visual person. It makes it harder for me to remember what books people talk about, and then I don't know what it was, and I just can't, you know, process it as well, and then it diminishes my interest, because, like, I don't know which book is which. I can't get a sense of the story from the cover whatsoever, because it tells me nothing. And so that's why I've also struggled to find romantasy books, but at this point, I am done just like giving up based on that. And I need to do some digging, and I need to just open the books, or I need to look at the synopses, or whatever it might be. I need to find books that are perfect for me. And this sounded amazing. And I have said before that I want to read more enemies to lovers. Touch Her and Die vibes said the recommendation. And also that, you know, no one can touch him but her because of some magical thing or vice versa. The enemies collide in a reluctant alliance brimming with tension. Yeah, I don't know, it looks absolutely amazing. So I've been talking for 1,000 years and honestly it feels like I must have so much footage at this point. So I'm not wrapping up now, but there's a chance like the next one or very soon we need to wrap this up. Even though I'm having the best time, I can continue another vlog in this spirit, you know? Hell everyone, it is time for the final update. And please excuse if I look a little bit weird. I am a little bit sick. Let's ignore that because I have amazing news, which is that I finished an adult romantasy and I absolutely loved it. And oh my god, like if you watch my videos on a regular basis, you might at this point be annoyed by me being constantly like, I want to read fantasy again, and you know, like I'm really struggling with it, and then I never read any. And I read one and I loved it, and it was like a 480-page book, which is something that intimidates me, and adult romantasy, and kind of like something that I would normally think is like outside of my comfort zone a little bit, but it was calling my name the other day, and you know, I knew that like I was in the middle of other books and I was like, you know, I should just finish that, but then this was calling my name, and the point of getting out of a reading slump is to listen to that little voice that's like, I want to read that, you know? And sometimes that works absolute wonders, and I loved every second of this. Like, this is absolutely a 5-star read, and I'm pretty sure it's basically like kind of wrapped up at the end, but I think there should be a second book, and I cannot wait for that. Like, I need it right now. I'm super excited for it, and that's honestly such a great feeling that, you know, I don't get when I read only like the companion, like standalone series where it's different characters each time. Like, of course, if I love the author, I'm excited for these books, but like, it's not the same feeling. I don't want to say too much so I don't spoil it, but I will say that like Fi is an icon. She is incredible. You know, she is strong in so many ways and so cool, and she stands her ground. And Antal, if that is, I hope his name, how to pronounce his name, he is, you know, of course, like dangerous, intense, and like scary, but at the same time, he's secretly a softie. And so I love how they match their energy despite them being like a different level of power. Obviously he could murder her within like 1 second. Yeah, but oh my god, like I loved every second of this. I would say it starts as enemies to lovers, but it is not as hardcore as I would expect, which I did not mind at all. But I do want to put it out because I know people are very specific about enemies to lovers sometimes. But obviously, like, the Dayari people are absolutely enemies to humans. Like, the worst thing in the world for them. And so, obviously, that plays a very big role in the story, and it is just incredible. Like, it was so fast-paced. Like, I didn't read it in one sitting because I didn't have time, but it felt like I was devouring it. There was not a single moment when I was like, oh, this is boring, or it's taking too long. I say this very often. I feel like books can be too long sometimes, and not for a good reason. But that was not the feeling that I had in here. It felt like every page mattered. And oh my god, I loved the side characters in this as well. And like the vibes, the romance. It's, you know, there's delicious tension, and it is spicy, it is fun, and the characters are actually really deep and well developed, and I loved them so much, and I was so attached to them, and I love that feeling. Also, there's like casual queer representation within both of our main characters, and just like so much goodness. Like, I don't even know what else to say, and this does not have a lot of ratings on Goodreads, and I know that the plot might seem like the vibes might be a little bit weird, and like the author called it a monster romance, and like of course like it is, because like he is not human, but he's like human enough, I think. Because like I do not like monster romance personally when there's like a little too animalistic for me sometimes. But I didn't feel that way. So I think even if you don't like monster romance, you could for sure enjoy this. But just in general, if you want fantasy with like high stakes and very intense tension in terms of the romance and the plot, and at the same time, there are some like chill, casual moments with the side characters as well. You know, and it's like about family and belonging and finding your place in the world as well. Please read this. I loved it so much, and I know the author has another book that should be like a cozy sapphic fantasy romance, and so I will be reading that as well, and I could not be happier. Like, this, I think, finally unlocked something. And also, fittingly enough, kind of unrelated to this, I'm wearing my romantasy book club sweatshirt, which I bought when I was like not even reading romantasy, but I was like, it is like, my heart wants it. I just couldn't physically manage, but I can now. So one last quick update, because I'm sure this video is 1,000 years long, and thank you so much if you're still here somehow. I finished the historical romance by Emma R. Albin, Like in Love with You, I think, and I really enjoyed that as well. So it's really cute and really fun, and I'm not going to talk too much in detail. I think I described the plot of that one, and it's just such a quick, fast-paced, sweet, romantic, a little bit steamy, sapphic historical romance. I feel like this is perfect if you like a lot of side characters and like shenanigans outside of the romance, because there was like a lot of stuff happening, but of course like the main characters spent a lot of time together. It was amazing, you know, like they are supposed to be a rival, like fighting over one guy, and then they fall in love instead. I think that's perfect. And yeah, so that will be all. If you did make it this far, please leave a sword emoji down below, because it's happening. I am back to reading fantasy. I'm going to devour so many, and I'm going to talk to you about all of them, and it's going to be the best time. So thank you so much for watching. Have a great day, and I'm going to see you soon in another video. Bye!